It's time to set some goals for 2021.
You're a voice actor. You're an entrepreneur. You're a VOPRENEUR. Welcome to the Everyday VOPRENEUR podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover.
Your voiceover demos are your #1 marketing tool, and you need to display them on your website in a way that works on any device or browser. VoiceSam is the player producers love. Plus, it offers tools that can improve your email signature, quickly create a one-page website, and much more. Sign up now at voicesam.com/MarkScott and get 3 months of the base player for the price of one. That's voicesam.com/MarkScott for full details and to sign up.
The VOPRENEUR podcast. Hey, it doesn't suck.
Not as funny as Conan. Not as cute as Seth Meyers. Not as smart as Colbert. But he's one of us, and that counts for something. Here's Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOPRENEUR.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Everyday VOpreneur podcast, your guide through the business of voiceover. I'm Mark Scott, the original Everyday VOpreneur. Excited to dive into another episode. This week, we are continuing on with the series to get you primed and ready for 2021. I know this year has not gone as planned. I know we all want next year to go better. But in order for that to happen, we're going to have to be very intentional about making it happen. And so with the next couple of episodes, that's what it's all about. Helping you to head into 2021 with intention to make it better. Now, before we dive into this week's episode, I do want to take a minute to say thank you for leaving your reviews on Apple Podcasts. Those are greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you for subscribing wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. That way you never have to miss an episode. You could do that on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. And of course, every episode always available at VOPRENEUR.com. So last week we were talking about mindset, and I think that is so huge. I think it's something that is often overlooked. I think it's something that we don't give enough credit to. Sometimes I think it's something that we just brush off as, new age voodoo. I don't agree with that. I think that mindset is absolutely essential to our success. And so if you didn't get a chance to listen, I would encourage you to go back and check out last week's episode. That was episode number 87. This week, we're going to be talking about goals. There are a few things that I think that you need to take into consideration when you are setting your goals for 2021. And I'm going to give you a few tips that I want you to use as you are getting ready to head into the new year. Goals are so important. Goals give us guidance. They give us direction. They give us accountability. They give us purpose, focus, and really they should become the filter for how you are spending your time. They should become the filter for what you are working on, what you aren't working on, so that you are always doing things with purpose. So I want to start out with giving you a few tips for things to consider as you are creating your goals. And the first one is don't make your goals too big. We need to find the goal sweet spot. Because the thing is with goals, if it's too easy, then you're not going to try hard enough and you're probably going to lack motivation. If you know that it's something that you can do with little or minimal effort, odds are you're going to put in little or minimal effort. That is not the way forward to success in 2021. On the flip side of that, if the goal is too big, you'll try hard for a while, but give up when you feel like you're not making enough progress. And so if this is your first year in voiceover and your goal for 2021 is to become the network voice of one of the major U.S. networks, that's probably a little bit too big of a goal. But if you said that you wanted to do some affiliate work for the local TV station, maybe that's a little bit more reasonable. And so it's all about setting goals that ultimately, they can move you towards the bigger ones, but they need to be goals that are reasonable and achievable. Not too easy, not too hard. Find that goal sweet spot and take that into consideration, because the last thing that we need to do at this point is give ourselves any reason at all to lose any more motivation. Second thing on the list is don't make your goals too vague. I want more clients in 2021. Fantastic. So if you get one new client in 2021, have you achieved your goal? Well, technically speaking, you achieved your goal. I want to earn more in 2021. Well, me too. How much? If you earn $1 more next year, is that really enough? Is that really what you were thinking about when you had set that goal in mind? Your goals need to be specific. How many more clients do you want in 2021? Do you want to put yourself in a position where you're consistently working with 3 to 5 repeat clients on a monthly basis? Then say that. Be specific. Do you really want to earn $1 more in 2021, or do you want to earn $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 more? Get specific. For a goal to have real value, it needs to be specific. Something that I've talked about before, I may have even shared this story in the podcast before too, but last year, when my oldest daughter was making her Christmas list, she had said to Santa that she wanted something that was practical and that she could use every day. And that was her Christmas list. And so I sat her down and I said, all right, well, what if Santa Claus brings you a fork? She's like, Daddy, Santa Claus is not going to bring me a fork. I said, well, is a fork practical? Well, yeah. I said, is a fork something that you use every day? Well, yeah. I said, well, then by your definition, if Santa Claus brought you a fork, then he will have checked off of your list. And when she thought about it from that perspective, all of a sudden she decided that maybe she should get a little bit more specific with what she really wanted. I give you the same advice. When it comes to your goals, get really specific about what you want. You know, a common goal that I hear from people, and I've been going through goal setting sessions with my mastermind group for 2021. I want to get better at time management. Well, what does that mean? If you gain back 5 minutes in your day, would you consider that a win for time management? Well, no, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. All right, well then, what are you talking about? Let's get specific about the goal. And while we're talking about goals not being too vague, goals also need to have a deadline, because a deadline is what is going to make it measurable. If you're skipping out on those 2 factors, my opinion is that you are setting yourself up for mediocrity, or worse yet, for total failure. Number 3 on the list, don't ask other people. Your goals need to be just that, your goals. Copying other people's goals or setting goals because someone says it's what they think that you should do is a recipe for failure. If you don't have ownership stake in what you're trying to accomplish, you're not going to get very far. You got to run your race, not someone else's. And you need to stop comparing your race to theirs. You don't know what their story is. You don't know where they are on their journey. You know, watching one of your colleagues set a goal to make $100,000 a year, that's really great. And you could set that same goal. But if this is only your first year in voiceover, that's probably pretty unrealistic for you. So you need to make your goals that fit with your journey, with where you are in your journey, with where you are in your business. Saying that in 2021, you are going to book a major documentary narration when you don't even have a documentary narration demo, that's probably not a realistic goal. But if you just set that goal because, well, it sounded cool and one of my friends booked a documentary this year, right? We're doing it for the wrong reasons. Your goals need to be your goals. They need to be in alignment with what you want to achieve, in alignment with the direction that you are moving. And you need to take that into consideration because, again, if they're not yours, if there is no ownership stake, lack of motivation, lack of desire, right? Because it's not really what you wanted to accomplish. So it's okay to see what other people are doing. It's okay to think about those things and maybe ask yourself, do I want that? Is that something I might be interested in? But don't just set a goal for the sake of setting a goal because somebody else set a goal. And absolutely do not set a goal because it's what somebody else thinks you should accomplish, unless it's moving you in a direction you want to go. Something else I want to point out here too is don't expect instant results. You know, a lot of people quit way too soon. And often when they quit, they're a lot closer to their breakthrough than they realize. It's absolutely important to evaluate your progress. Sometimes it is going to be necessary to adjust strategies and tactics. I mean, what was the buzzword of 2020? It was pivot. So many voice actors were talking about pivoting. I was talking about pivoting when the pandemic hit. Okay, we were going here, but we can't go here anymore. So let's pivot and try to find some opportunities over here, right? So sometimes you are going to have to adjust your strategies and tactics. Just don't give up because it's not happening fast enough. I think that if you're willing to quit that easily, then maybe the goal wasn't that important to you after all. And maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing to find out. But for me, I would rather go down trying then always have to wonder what if, right? I don't want to live with that regret of if I'd stuck with it a little longer, if I had contacted a few more people, if I had worked with this coach and instead of that coach, if I had, done this demo, whatever it is. I don't want to wonder what if. I want to know, I want to have the answers. I want to have certainty, whether it's opening the book, moving on to another chapter, or closing the book entirely. So don't quit too soon, because with a lot of this stuff, you are not going to see instant results. And that's especially true when it comes to self-marketing your voiceover business. So just to quickly recap, we don't want to make the goals too big. We don't want to make the goals too vague. We don't want to set other people's goals. That is to say, we don't want other people telling us what our goals should be, and we don't want to copy other people's goals. And we don't want to expect instant results, because that's not, generally speaking, the way that it works. A really good goal is going to be very specific. A really good goal is going to have a deadline. A really good goal is going to have some way of measuring progress. Sometimes the deadline is how you measure the progress. A really good goal is going to be something that is motivating for you because it is achievable, but you're going to have to work hard for it. Not something that you can just go out and accomplish easily. So take all of those things into consideration as you are setting your goals. Now, once you have your goals set, it's time to map out your year. 2021 is going to be as good as you make it. And a lot of people used COVID and the pandemic as an excuse for why their business didn't do the things that they thought it was going to do in 2020. But there are a lot of people who had record-breaking years. There are a lot of people who are out there who had great clients, great opportunities, experienced growth in their business, growth in their income. Those are the people who, despite whatever's going on, get out there and hustle and do the work. Those are the people that are spending every day doing a little bit of marketing, making some new connections, trying to find opportunities for themselves. I want to teach you how to be one of those people. Voiceover Marketing Playbook is coming again January 5th through the 14th, 2021. This is your opportunity to start the year off right, learning how to be a more confident and effective marketer. So here's the deal. If you've got professional training, demos, in a home studio, but you're still not booking, if you're confused, overwhelmed, frustrated, don't know what to say in your messaging, don't know who to talk to, don't know how to approach it, we can fix all of that. Voiceover Marketing Playbook is a step-by-step, easy-to-follow marketing course that is going to give you a clear plan for finding your own leads, building your own client base, and becoming the consistently working voice actor that you want to be. Let me help you get there. Playbook is coming January 5th through the 14th, 2021. Watch the website for details. I would love to have the opportunity to work with you. January 5th through the 14th, 2021. Details available at voiceovermarketingplaybook.com. That's voiceovermarketingplaybook.com.
Now, back to our show.
Some goals are bigger than others. So naturally, some goals are going to take more time to accomplish than others. I really believe, and I personally do this, that you need to set goals for the long, mid, and short term. So I set annual goals that I then break down into pieces and set deadlines along the way. This gives me something that I can measure. And the other thing it gives me is accountability. And let me tell you something. Accountability is the secret sauce. Now, I also set some midterm goals. Goals that maybe you're going to take a few months to accomplish. But then I also set short-term goals. What am I going to get done this week? And sometimes the things that I'm going to get done this week are things that I need to do towards those midterm goals. Sometimes they're things that I need to do working towards those long-term goals. And sometimes they're just things that I need to get done this week. Time is a finite resource. And it needs to be invested with purpose and intention, right? Time is the one thing that you can't make any more of. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And we all need to be very intentional about how we are using those 24 hours. You've heard it said that failing to plan is planning to fail, and that is true. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you lost a day? Maybe a week? Maybe a month? Maybe a year? Do you feel like 2020 is a wasted year? Do you feel like it's a lost year? If you have felt that way, it's probably because you didn't have a plan for how you were going to spend your time. Very few people plan to spend an entire day or 2 or 5 binging Netflix. But it happens all the time, right? I was in a session with somebody and I was talking about their husband's a gamer. And I said, you know what? I don't even have a video game system in my house. And the reason why I don't is because I know I'm one of those guys that would get fully immersed. If I bought the latest version of MLB The Show or whatever the game is called, I'm that guy that would sit down to play one game, one 9-inning game. But the next thing I know, I've played an entire 162-game season and won the World Series. And I just lost a week of my life, forgot to eat, forgot to sleep, don't know where my time went. That can happen to me. I'm that kind of guy. And so one of the ways that I avoid that is by not having a video game system in my house. I just, you know what? Easier just to remove the temptation. If you are not where you want to be from a success standpoint, if you're not where you want to be from a booking standpoint, if your business is not at the level that you want it to be at, it's entirely possible that a big part of the reason why that's happening is because you're not being intentional with your time. You have to be intentional with your time. You can't get more of it. That means filtering everything through the lens of your goals. When you are sitting down and you are about to give an hour to something, are you asking yourself, is this hour going to bring me closer to my goals, or is this hour going to bring me further from my goals? And that does not mean that we need to spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week working on our goals, to be clear. But what it does mean is if you sit down on Facebook and you start watching cat videos and you spend 3 hours watching cat videos, did those 3 hours of cat videos bring you closer to your goal or further from your goal? Were you being intentional with your time, or were you just spending your time, right? Investing time versus spending time. When you invest something, you invest it with the intention of getting a return on that investment, an ROI. If you are investing your time wisely, that time is going to produce a return for you. If you are spending your time, once it's gone, you're not ever getting it back. One of the things that I do is Sunday evenings, I try to sit down with my planner. I love my old school planner, Clever Fox planner. And I review my goals for the year. I review my goals for the month. And then I make a plan for what I'm going to do in the coming week. So once I have reminded myself of what the big things are that I'm trying to accomplish, it's a matter of, okay, these are the big things. So what are the small things that I'm going to do this week? What are the small things that I'm going to do this day that is going to move me one step closer? And that's part of this, right? Moving one step closer. We're not trying to chomp off entire goals for the year in one session. Every day we're just taking another step, being a little bit more intentional. If you haven't checked out the Clever Fox Planner, I would encourage you to do it. It's brilliant for this. I'm so happy with mine. A lot of people ask me, which one do you use? I have the Clever Fox Weekly Undated Planner. I actually bought the premium version for 2021. I'm not even 100% sure what it looks like because it actually just came in the mail yesterday as I'm sitting to record this, and I haven't had a chance to open it up yet. But the Weekly Undated is the one that I love, and it absolutely keeps me on track. So make sure that you are mapping out your year, investing your time with intention. I mentioned this a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to say it again. This is where I want to leave you. Accountability is the secret sauce, okay? You can succeed or you can fail based off of accountability. I really believe that. 2021 is going to be the third year that I have run a mastermind group. And in this mastermind group, the main premise of the group is accountability. It's outlining our goals with each other as a group so that we all know what we're trying to accomplish, where we're trying to go, and then it's holding each other accountable to it. Yeah, we're learning from each other, drawing from collective intelligence, collective wisdom, collective experience. Different people have different backgrounds, different things they bring to the table, and that's all value. But the biggest part of the mastermind group is about the accountability. It's about having somebody that says, did you do the thing? No, you didn't do the thing. Why didn't you do the thing? Maybe putting boot to butt if you didn't do the thing. The last thing that we need right now is an accountability partner or an accountability group that when you get together and you meet for the month and they say, okay, so you told us you were going to do 100 marketing contacts this month. Did you do it? No, I didn't do it. Okay, well, we're going to pat you on the bum and say good job because I'm sure you had a difficult month and I'm sure you meant to do it and it's okay that you didn't get it done. So don't worry about it. We'll just try harder next month. That's not accountability. Accountability says, why didn't you do it? What was the excuse? What was holding you back? It makes you accountable. When you have to give the reasons for why you didn't do it, and all of a sudden you realize that you don't have any good reasons, you just got a bunch of excuses. Accountability doesn't let you off the hook. Accountability supports you, encourages you, guides you, but accountability absolutely puts boot to butt when it is needed. You only deserve an attaboy when you've earned it. I'm not going to give anybody a pat on the bum if they didn't do the things that they were supposed to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to beat them down, but I am going to make them answer for it. That's what you need to be looking for in a good accountability partner or a good accountability group. If you want to go further in 2021, you set your goals. You follow those guidelines that we outlined earlier. Don't make the goals too big. Find that sweet spot. Don't make the goals too vague. Make sure that they are very specific, that you really speak out what it is that you want to accomplish. Make sure that you're setting goals for you and not goals for other people. Recognizing that this is going to take some time to accomplish, and then mapping out your year so that you can work with intention. If you do all of those things and then you throw accountability, true accountability into the mix, then I do have every confidence that 2021 is going to be a much better year for you. A year that you can be excited about and a year that you will look back on and feel proud of. Who doesn't want that? Never want to miss an episode? Need a little bit more guidance in the business and marketing side of VoiceOver? VOPRENEUR.com is the website. Check it out. Listen to past episodes. There's 87, 88 episodes that are up there now that you can go back through and listen to. Make sure you tell a friend. You got somebody in mind for your accountability partner? Make sure they listen to this episode. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it on LinkedIn so other people can find it as well. I want to thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.
The Everyday VOpreneur Podcast. Available everywhere fine podcasts are given away for free. Mostly, we think.
Your voiceover demos are your number one marketing tool, and you need to display them on your website in a way that works on any device or browser. VoiceSam is the player producers love. Plus, it offers tools that can improve your email signature, quickly create a one-page website, and much more. Sign up now at voicesam.com/MarkScott and get 3 months of the base player for the price of one. That's voicesam.com/MarkScott for full details and to sign up.
And scene.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for hanging out. Want more VOpreneur goodness? Jump online at VOpreneur.com.